Okay, take 3, if you can believe it. So learning, you make mistakes. And the video just stopped. I think it seems to be set at stopping at 15, I don't know. And then I messed up something here. So I want to make sure that you can see it. In the last video that you see, I said I was going to do witchcraft, and that's probably why the video stopped. You know, we can correlate things and we can make up stories. Is that really true? We now know, so I'm going to cheat a little bit looking forward. But our ancestors just watched sunrise and set. They didn't know, right? And they couldn't travel very far, right? Travel by foot, etc. And it's scary out there, and who knows, right? But we built up knowledge. Okay, so now we know that we live in the northern hemisphere. So in the northern hemisphere, here's the equator, North Pole, South Pole. This is chapter 2. If I look north towards the North Pole, I'll see whatever I see that way. If I turn around and look south towards the equator and South Pole, I'll see that. Now, here's the deal. I do have a stand for this, but sun, moon, and planets are roughly, not exactly, but on this level. So if you're standing here, you've got to look this way at them, which is looking south. That's why they're in our southern sky, not our northern sky. So maybe you can get that, and maybe not. Work on that. Let's go back to just what you can see. What can you see? All right, let's track it. Zoom in on this, and then I'm zoom back out. I didn't zoom back out last time. All right, so remember, this is our ground. The green is the green grass, the ground here. Remember that we face south. So if we face south, we've got east on our left, south, west, east, sandwich. If we turn around, then east is on our right. And if I draw that, it's now over here. So we flip it. And we say eat sandwich, drink wine. So we're going to do eat sandwich. And notice that this is the farthest to the north side from east. This is the farthest to the north side from west. This is the farthest to the south side from east, farthest to the south side from west. And you might say, farthest, what do you mean farthest? Good question. I mean that that's the farthest sun will ever go throughout the whole year. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. Do this. Let's draw this and put in some details, shall we? You should be able to do this on a blank piece of paper, maybe on an exam if you're in person. I'm going to remember that's the sky, this is the ground, all this is your ground down here. And I'm going to do this. So eat sandwich. Good. I want to put in east, and this is directly east. And over here, of course, about the same distance I'm going to put it is directly, and you can find out if there's any landmarks that you can see, mountains, buildings, wherever you pick. Now I guess I already have that marked. The other markers that we're going to have is that the farthest to which side? Not south. North side of what? East. I go over here. Where's the farthest? Is it? No. Right? Think of the circle. This over here is going to be the farthest. That sun goes to the north side of west, right? And then we'll go back over here, chunk this out, and there's some cool things. And then we're going to go over here, and this is going to be the farthest that you'll ever see sun on the south side of east. And to the south of west, again, going around that circle, right? We're going to get rid of that in a second. This is the farthest south side of west. Initially, it's confusing, like anything, right? Anything new, anything of substance. All right, let's see how that shows up. You can see that? It looks like we're pretty good. All right, good. So I'm just going to draw what you would see. Now you can draw this day over to day, or you could do it month after day. You could miss a day. It doesn't really matter, right? But you do this, and you would have a lot of power in your tribe or your court or wherever. That's fine to draw it like that and see it like this. But I like this nice, easy representation. And it makes us kind of think about it. So what you're going to find is this. That sun, I'm going to start my year. You can start your year anywhere you want, right? You could say Happy New Year any day you want on your birthday, right? Not everyone would agree. Personally, I do it at the start of spring. Why not? I mean, that's like regrowth, renewal. Some cultures people do, like the start of spring. That should be Happy New Year to me. It's not. Oh well, no one asked me. So, on one day of the year, sun rises to the farthest, the north side. So I'm going to draw this a long arrow. Notice that these arrows are going to go up. Why? Because everywhere over here, sun is going to rise in the east, roughly. Exactly where will change day to day, a little bit, and a lot month to month. So sun rises somewhere over here. And then over here, we're going to look at where sun sets. And I'm going to draw arrows. So the arrow is where sun goes. Remember, we're talking about watching the sun. It looks like it's going around us. It looks like it's smaller than Earth, right? Earth, we live on this big Earth, and there's this little ball in the sky. How big is it? What? Lots of questions about it. Where did it come from? Is it a god? What is this thing? Okay, so when does that happen? It happens on one day. And it goes like this. And that sun path is going to go like this. It's going to go way up. And then it's going to set. So I'm going to make a down arrow, a setting arrow, on the farthest north side of west. And on that day, I'll do it orange. On that day, it's the highest all year. If this is sunrise, which you will find happens at different times, and sunset, this is midday. And again, don't worry about little picky things or daylight saving times. So we're going to say noon is good enough. We're sketching this out. We're chunking it out. You want to go into more detail? Knock yourself out. What day is this? June, I'm going to say 21, even though this year was the 20th, and it floats a little bit for reasons we'll kind of get into. June 21st or 20th, whichever. We're going to use 21 for all these just to make it easy. And that is the summer, let me write it like this, Summer Solstice. And I'm going to tell you something that's kind of cool about this, but not yet. Summer solstice. And so if you watch sunrise, you know, it's going to be here, and then it's going to come over here, and it's going to look like it's going around us, right? And you're going to watch the path, and we're going to talk about this again in chapter 2. You'll learn what AM and PM mean. It goes, and then it's going to set. And you go, huh, when does that happen? On the summer solstice. Now, did I think I got this in on the other one. The fact that you can call the seasons by climate, weather. September, the start of September, you could call this, we do sometimes call it the start of fall. September, October, November is fall. I think I did that right. And then, but astronomically, this is the solstice, and you'll see why. It is the solstice and it is the equinox. Okay, so that's the path on that day, June 20th, 1st, 20th, whatever. And then what you find daily is that it's going to change a little bit. And even near the solstice, it's not going to change very much. I'll talk about that a little bit. And so this is going to be, let's write this, maybe I should make this really emphasize it and say on summer solstice. Okay? And also on summer solstice. And so if you had drawn it and you were looking from the same place every time and you go, hey, it's rising up. It's the solstice. I didn't even know. I was so busy programming my computer. So, but if you look month to month, it's going to change quite a bit. What is this? June 21st. So let's go. Where's it going to rise? July 21st, right around here somewhere. Not exact. I'm not worried about that. I'll make it small because we're not going to focus on that. July. I'm not going to write it. You could. July 21st. Where's it going to go? It's going to go. Oh, wait a minute. It's not going to go as high. It's falling. Huh. It's going to set over here, a downward arrow. July 21st. August. So this is summer, right? This starts summer, right? This starts, what do we have to do? We have to remember that this summer solstice starts summer. And so every day after, summer, July 21st, summer, August 21st. Sun's going to rise, sun's going to get higher. It's going to be lower than it was. August setting over here. Still summer. Summer. August, September, until September 21st. Or 20th, whatever, whatever it is that year. It floats a little bit for a subtle reason. I'm going to make that one long. Where's it going to go? It's going to go up. It's going to go midway. This is sun, right? This is what you can track sun. Where do you think it's going to set? Directly west. Little tiny variations for little things. If you get interested in it, fine, whatever, but this is good. And so when does that happen? Well, you just count months. June, July, August, September 21. Okay. And what do we call that? We call that's the start of fall or autumn. So we can call it the fall or autumnal equinox. We'll see why that is. Equinox. And there's a really interesting point here. And you're going to see that sun will not be as high in your sky, not as intense. So we're still talking about sun, how high it is around noon over south. And then it's going to go, it's going to head this way, and it's going to set. So I got the downward arrow, right? Setting there directly where? On the equinox. On Keep counting months. That's all you have to do. Once you get the hang of it, it kind of makes sense. September, another month. It's going to rise up. October 21st-ish. Happy birthday to nephew. November. Oh wait, if it rises here, it's still got to go up, right? It's going to go up. It's going to go there. Set where here? September, October, November. Just tracking sun. November until when? You know, December. Maybe the 20th, maybe 21st, whatever. We can say 21. I don't care. On an exam, I'd rather you say 21, so I know you're not looking it up. So this is going to be the farthest sun will ever be of east on the south side all year. It'll never keep going. It doesn't keep going. This is where it rises. Okay, so this is going to be December, I'll say 21. It's called the winter. I'll write it so we don't confuse the W's. solstice. It's going to go up, right? It's going to be the lowest all year. And where's it going to set? Sun's going to set the farthest, also south side. And I'm going to have interesting notes here. We're going to keep going, though, and we're going to avoid a mistake. Okay, it's still running, so there's one mistake we'll avoid. What does that happen? That happens on the winter. I can just say, maybe say wint. Solst. On winter solst. Now keep going. What happens? Remember I showed you the videos? It comes back. It repeats the cycle. So let's count it. July, August, September. No, wait. Did I do that right? Yeah. June, July, August, September, equinox, the start of fall, astronomically. September, October, November. This is all fall. This is all summer. This is all fall. Hey, write that down. This is important. We're just watching it rise. So all this is summer. And notice that summer, as I said, this is really important, and I have it in the book. Summer leads to fall. Fall leads to winter. This is going to help you. And there's one question that's probably the trickiest question I could ask to see if you really understand this. But this is fall. Or autumn. I like autumn. It's a nice name, but whatever. But notice that over here, all this would be in summer. Sun would be going lower and lower. It's still high, though. It's still high. And then it's going to keep going, and this is going to be fall. It's kind of cool because sun is falling, but so are the leaves fall. And this happens over here too, but don't just, you got to think about it. It's going to be summer this way, right? And then fall this way, or autumn. And then this starts winter. So make sure you remember that each of these is the start of winter. This is going to be the lowest sun is at noon all year. That means it can't get any lower. I mean, then something else would be happening. We'd be going crazy, whatever. So when we look at rising, we've got December, then we're going to go back. January, September, October, November 21st, December, January. January 21st is going to be the same path as November 21st. January, February. Going back, January, February to March. And what season is that? Oh, let's go here. Let's just do it over here. Where was I? December, January, February, March. So this, December, January, February, is winter. This, as it's getting higher and higher, but still low, is winter. This, as it starts going back, is winter. Just count the months. 3 months for a season, right? December, January, February, March. Oh, wait a minute. March is midway too, directly on the equinox. Which one? Both of them. You really only need 3 paths, because this is also March 21, or the spring, or vernal, V-E-R-N-A-L, vernal equinox, if you want. And we'll say why in just a second. We're almost there. So that's going to be also. And that starts, once you hit there, that's the start of, it's going to be rising and rising, spring. And as it comes back over here, right? I don't know. I need a new color. Purple. My purple's not very good. Spring for lavender. So I get March, also same place. April, not very good. Rising. So notice that each of these positions, if it rose right there, I wouldn't know if it's June, July, August, or March, April. I would have to look the next day. If it's April, it's going to keep rising more and more north. June, July, August. Don't memorize this. You got to just think about it. June, July, August. If it's summer, then it's going to keep going more and more south. March, April, May, bing, start it over again. So this, see if I've got a better, that's a good purple. Let's get rid of that other one. I don't like these throwaway pens, these are reusable, etc. But summer leads into fall, fall leads into winter, winter leads into spring, spring leads into summer. The paths are here, and so in spring it'll get higher and higher. Summer leads into fall, fall leads into winter, winter leads into spring, spring leads into summer. Summer solstice, fall equinox, winter solstice, spring equinox, or vernal. Summer solstice, it repeats, then it repeats over here. December, January, February, March, April, May, start again, June. So every one of these places where it rises, places how high it is, and where it sets, every one happens on 2 days, except what? Okay, it's running. Except the farthest, the solstices. And so, we're going to learn that, and we're almost done. Check this out. What does equinox mean, and what does solstice mean? It's there in the book. I think you can get this in there. Okay. We have 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices. Notice that they happen. Solstice, equinox, solstice, equinox, solstice, equinox, solstice, equinox. Notice that the equinox is in between. Notice that this is cool. Equinox means equal night as day. How many hours is a day? 24 hours. That means equal night as day, 12 hours and 12 hours. Can you tell, and for now you're wondering, for thousands of years, you're pretty old, that sun, would it be out longer here? It'd be a longer day? This would be the shortest day? Oh. Longest day? Shortest night? I'll leave that to you. This is going to be the shortest day, longest night. Cool, it's kind of fun. This would be equal night as day. And again, yes, there's little subtle things we're not going to do. So we got about 12 hours of day and about 12 hours of night on both the spring and the fall equinox. Equinox, it tells you it's midway. right? So you got about 12. And if you look, if you're on a phone app and you can see sunrise and sunset, it's good. The other thing that you can check is how long are the day and nights for the solstices. And so let me give you that and then tell you what the word solstice means, and we'll see. How long your day and nights are, days and nights are, on the solstices and everywhere in between depends on how far north or south you are of the equator, chapter 2. Okay. So, we won't go into that much, but roughly, and I think, I don't know, I go back and forth on this. We have got 24 hours, so we could say 10 hours of one and 14 of the other. 10 plus 14 is 24, or you can do 15 hours of one and 9, because 15 plus 9 is 24. So, and it varies a little bit, but I'm going to go with 15 and 9 because it's kind of mid-latitude. So one's 15 hours, the other is 9. Well, let's see. That's an H for hours, NT for night. So we use 15 and 9. What is it? Well, clearly, on this, there's like 15 hours where sun is out, and 9 hours where it isn't. So you can do a little squiggly approximately. It's good enough. And then you're going to get shorter and shorter days, lower and lower, still long, still out in the sun a lot, still baking Earth. And then shorter and shorter days until you get the shortest day. So that's going to be like 9 hours of day where sun is out, and like 15 hours of night, depending on where you are. And then it's going to go back and get longer and longer days until you got equal day as night. And so what does solstice do to finish this off? And then we'll talk a little bit. I don't know, we'll talk about stars. You know what equinox means? What about solstice? Let me put it over here. Let's see if I can see this. Sol is the Latin word for sun. Stis, think of it as sun, still, spell it right, still on the horizon. So think of it that way. Make sure you can see that. Sun still on the horizon. What do I mean? If I have a video of day after day sunrise, or day after day sunset on the horizon, either way, what I'd see is sunrise, rise, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. And as it turns around, one thing you find is that the sun doesn't change a lot. It kind of is like a spring. It goes out here and hangs out a little bit, really gradual, and then comes back. And it's as if it stands still day after day on the horizon. And it comes out and, stands still on the horizon. And so too for setting. Stand still for setting. If you did a video, stand still, you'd really see it kind of like a spring. Solstice. And in fact, if you live far north in the Nordic regions and the Nordic folk, here the days are much shorter. And you're watching sun and you're going, come on, would you move? Would you go, sun is standing still. Did we offend the God? Oh, what do we have to do? We have to burn a fire to, encourage it to come back. So you get a log and you call it the Yule Log, Y-U-L-E, the Yule Log. And that celebration, again, is tied to the pagan ritual, as is the Christmas tree and things like that, because people were tied to this. We're tied together by our nature and by our earth, and we are tied together, genetically, right? So we're cousins.
So the Yule Log is from sun, like, come on, I'm freezing out here. I got no central heating. It's crazy. I got to burn a log and coax back sun, and then it goes back like this. Rising, noontime, setting, summer leads to fall, fall leads to winter, winter leads to spring, spring leads to summer, start of summer, start of fall, start of winter, start of spring, start of summer. You have got it. And maybe I think I'll just throw it in right here as a quickie on this and say 2. Now, how did our ancestors, with, again, very cool outfits and abilities, how did our ancestors track this? Well, first they were, clever. How do you start cooking? You start making stuff, right? And then you look at a plant. Is it any good? And you go, I don't know. And you give it to Grog and see if Grog dies and whatever. And you just figure it out. You pass this stuff on even before writing, right? And then you start making little sketches and language. It's amazing. It's so cool. It ties into anthropology and psychology, art. It's all cool. But this they were watching this, and so having this question and passing it on, through education, public education systems, so we pass it on. So we grow. We hope to grow, not with stories or make-believe. Stories fine as a story, but believing them literally is a problem. So we watched this, and if you could do this sitting from one place, you'd have a calendar. Even before written, you'd have a calendar. No, there it is. Here's where we are in the cycle, so we have a sense. You could also watch, again, keep track of moon phases. Starting on a new moon, we're going to get to that next. And so that you can have a lunar calendar, but that gets out of whack with the seasons. So this you can bank on, kind of. You don't know if you're going to have a wet or dry winter, but still, you've got this. The other thing that people did is they'd see what stars are out at night. And of course, while sun is out, you're not going to see the stars that are way out there light years away, right? But what you will see is, before sunrise, certain stars, maybe even planets. Sometimes Venus. Sometimes Venus is called the morning star. It's not a star. It's a planet. I know, it's a morning glowing thing. You could say star. Anyway, but sometimes it's out there. But you get certain stars, and then you can't see them. So I know it's over here when I draw that picture. And then when it sets, I know it's here too. So it's in front of the spaceship. Oh, you got the spaceship constellation. It's between the spaceship constellation and the water bottle constellation that my tribe made up. And then, I do this. And then it rises. And then after a month or so, it'll be in front of the spaceship, and then you won't be able to see it. You'll see the water bottle, and you'll see something else that it was in front of, and now you can't see that. And then you see what's after it, and you just track it. They just track it. And it helps to make stories because it's easier to remember, right? Memory aids. But your stories don't have to be the same as mine. You don't have to connect the dots the same as I do. But we need to keep track, so however we do it is fine. Take the stories literally. Take the knowledge, the observations. We should be left wondering why. Why does this happen? It's hard. You have to adopt not knowing, the Taoist principle. Embrace not knowing. Be okay not knowing. And then if you want to find out, chip away. Isaac Newton died not knowing a lot of things he wanted to know about. Einstein, Aristotle, lots of other folks and other names that I can't remember or pronounce. Right? People died not knowing, and they wondered about all this stuff around the globe. Okay, so this ties us in. That's what a solstice is. That's what equinox is. I think it's fun to celebrate it. A toast to the sun god, Ra, Inti, Sol. Right? But we do know a lot. And some people wonder that that's going to take away the fun of it. It takes away the mystery. Well, it takes away some of the mystery, but it just leads to deeper mysteries because you did chapter 0, and we got some pretty deep mysteries still going on. So I don't think there's any fear of taking away that mystery. But it does give us power when to plant, and we can watch. We can watch our climate, how's it changing, et cetera. There have been changes, we'll talk about in chapter 5. And hopefully we can appreciate our time as individuals on the planet, and hopefully we can pass this on too, so that we continue the appreciation and the growth towards hopefully something better. And my goal is to have us realize that we're connected, and we can have a little more joy and a little less strife. Okay, on to observing moon. You got this. Practice the sketch, and there's the deal, and see if you can get all that information. Cool. You are tied to our ancestors.